For all of you who don't know me, let me just give you some credentials here. So I'm Antoine Wade, six-figure earner, millionaire. Yes, I'm an asset millionaire, guys. I've been in the corporate world for over 15 years now, guys. And, I've worked for 3 companies in my entire life. I've been promoted on average every 2.5 years. So if I've been in the professional world about 15 years, a little over 15 years, I've been promoted basically almost 10 times already. So I know a little bit about getting promoted. I've led teams in the United States. I've led teams globally outside of the United States. I've lived outside of the United States. I also have an MBA from a top 20 MBA program. So, that's a little bit about myself. But, a lot of you don't know who I am yet. And if you're on this channel today, welcome. And thank you for supporting me. But I'm also a father, guys. I am also a father to 2 beautiful kids. And I'm also a husband to a beautiful wife who puts up with a lot of my stuff, man. She does a fantastic job of putting up with me. Welcome to the chat, blind guy, his wife, and their life, man. Thank you for joining the chat today. I think this is a very important topic today. And the reason why I say that is a lot of people are trying to get the bag now. And there's ways that many people are starting to share how they are able to do it in the entrepreneurship world. But I'm going to kind of give you guys the tips that you can do it in the world that you're currently in, whether that is in, working for McDonald's, right? Whether that is in working in tech, whether that is in working for yourself, whatever it is, right? There's something that you guys will be able to take from this conversation today that I think that, you can use starting today to improve your situation. So we all know that when you're in a working environment, that in a perfect world, it would be just about your performance. It would be, about the work that you do and how reliable you are. But in all actuality, that's not how things end up happening, right? We want it to be based on merit. We want it to be based on how many, keystrokes that we can, type in a minute. We want it to be based on, how we've been able to close the biggest deal in the company's history. We want it to be on all of that stuff. But the reality of it is that's not what it is. And I've learned that early on within my career, starting back to my first role in the corporate America. I was having a conversation with one of my managers at the time and had an opportunity to sit down with some directors and some VPs. And I think I was around 22 years old. But they were, talking about things that, I probably shouldn't have heard. But the word visibility kept coming up. Visibility. And I always wanted to know what that meant. And I found out what that meant. And visibility and how they were using it because they were talking about another a coworker who just had resigned, and he was basically asking for a promotion, and they never promoted him because he had lack of visibility. Now, this guy was a star performer. He was an absolute star performer, but he had little visibility. And it was like, wow, what does visibility mean? In all essence, what does visibility mean? Visibility means this, guys, and I'll tell you in this this live stream today, the visibility means this. It means, to your senior level, upper level folks who things really matter to. Are you visible to them? Are you visible to them? Do they know who you are? That's what it means. Do they know how much you can contribute? Do they know what you're working on? That's what visibility means, guys. And, I had to learn that. And once I learned that piece of it, because I was given the game quite early, I was able to get promoted, over 10 times within my career. So let's do this. Let's do a sanity check. You guys are in the chat. If you're coming across this, if you're live, go ahead and I can't even speak right now. Go ahead and hit the like button. If this content is new to you and you're seeing it for the first time and you like this sort of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. I want to make sure that I'm getting the support and you're helping with that and helping to grow this channel. But we're going to talk about how to get promoted and how to get promoted fast. And I've given you guys my credentials, so I know what I'm talking about. I love to do that first, right? To set the tone on what's important here and why I have the ability to talk about this sort of topic. But one thing I want you guys to all remember about this is that perception drives reality, and perception is everything. And, perception is something that we can control. And this is part of the visibility piece of it as well. So I want you guys to keep that in the back of your mind as well, too. It is something that we can control. And there are behaviors around perception that we are in control of. And what's up, brother Beto? How are you? Thank you for joining the chat too, guys. So thank you so much for joining the chat. I got my chat over here, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm talking to you guys in the camera as well, too. So every time I get a chat, I may look over here. There may be a bit of a pause and a bit of a distraction, but let me get back to it though. Perception is everything. And here's the thing, right? Just like I am talking to you guys today in front of this camera, you guys are, have some perception of me. And whatever that perception is, I'm trying to control that as much as possible. And the way how you control perception is by doing a couple things about your behaviors that will allow people to perceive you in certain lights. And we'll get into the intricacies of this after I talk over the high level pieces of it. But the controllable parts of the perception in helping you to get promoted is how you dress. A lot of people don't understand that piece of it. I'm in here right now on a Saturday with a nice button-up shirt and my glasses on, and I'm just pretty what I would consider to be dressed intelligent, right? And what the way how I'm dressing today is pretty moderate, but it is intelligent, and it shows that I have what I would consider to be self-control, right? I'm dressing like I am in a figure of authority to be able to talk about such a subject, right? We're talking about how to get promoted fast. And just imagine if I was dressed in a t-shirt with a ball cap on backwards, right? Like I was a high school student, nobody would really take me serious, right? So a controllable behavior for all of us when it comes down to perception is how you dress. And you have to dress how you want to be perceived. So that's one tip that I have for you guys. The other piece of it that I would say is this. There's a lot of do's and don'ts about the dressing, but I want you guys to go and do your own research on that. You have to dress for the position that you want, right? And I know a lot of us today, especially being in tech and so forth, we have the ability to work from home and work remote. But there are times when you have to be on camera. And the past of how you used to dress, having to go to the office and so forth, if you want to get promoted, you still have to dress for the position that you want to be in, guys. That's very important. I'm not going to get into the do's and don'ts of how not to dress, but you don't want to be a VP walking around here dressing like Chris Brown, right? Or a plumber, right? You don't want to be that person that's dressing like that. So again, part of the perception about yourself is controllable, and a controllable piece of that is how people perceive you based on how you dress. Another controllable behavior is how you communicate, guys, right? It's important for you to be able to communicate with others. And, a lot of us are getting very comfortable with the way how we communicate online and the way we communicate to our family members and to our boys and stuff like that. And you just have to really watch that if you're trying to get promoted in corporate America. You have to know how and know what things to say. I have a nephew who was just at the house maybe a week ago, and we were playing Madden. I haven't played Madden in forever, right? And one of the things that he kept saying, because he's a high schooler, right? He's like, man, I beat you, bro. And so bro is such a easy word to pick up. And as a professional, right, I can say that to my nephew oh man, like you suck, bro, right? Like I can say that to my nephew, but it's not very, common to say that to a VP who has, powers, who is responsible for, potentially you moving on in your career, right? So just be careful with how you communicate to other people. And when you communicate, try to be precise and concise as possible. Don't let your tongue, words that you say back at home, like bro and stuff like that, cuz and all that other stuff, really get into your professional talk. And if you have a culture where it's like that, that's fine, right? I heard somebody the other day, and my company that I work for used the word OG. I'm like, God, man, this pop culture is starting to leak its way into corporate America. And I get it, man. I get it. And it's harder and harder every single day for us to use the right terminology when it comes down to communication. But, you don't want to be talking to a CEO of a company using words like, what's up, bro? What's up, cuz? What's up, a partner? You don't want to do any of that sort of stuff. So, you try to mimic the behaviors of what you see as a professional, and you communicate that way. So that's another controllable behavior, guys. So that's 2 that I've given you already, how to communicate. And the other one is how to dress, man, and dress like you want to be perceived, and dress and communicate like you want to be perceived as well, too. Let's move on. And let me just jump over here to the chat. Blind guy, I'm glad you're doing a deep dive into perception. I've always thought of visibility and perception from my own definition. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Is we always think of it as from our own definition, but we have to remember that a lot of it is based on how others perceive you, right? And again, you're in full control of that. Think about this, right? Think about some of the most powerful people in the world, right? They could be smucks behind the doors, but they try to create a perception about themselves to make them still be powerful, right? You think about like the Warren Buffetts, or you think about the Satya Nadellas who leads Microsoft, or you think about a gentleman of the past or Tom Coughlin, right? The head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you want to get into the sports world, stuff like that, right? It's a certain way that you want to be perceived, and you're in control of that. And a lot of that has to do with your own behavior. So the way how you dress, the way how you communicate, and so forth.